Stop using canvas tarps. Tyvek is the survival upgrade preppers can't ignore. There's a moment in every survival era when the old guard loses its crown. And right now you can almost feel history shifting under your boots. The canvas tarp, legendary, rugged, worshipped by traditionalists, is finally being outpaced by something lighter, smarter, and honestly, shockingly more efficient. And if you're part of the Prepper Survival Blueprint crew, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now, because what you're about to learn is exactly the kind of edge that separates the prepared from the vulnerable. This isn't hype. This is the next genuine step in shelter evolution. And once you understand Tyvek, you'll never look at canvas the same way again. Why Tyvek is breaking survival traditions wide open. Canvas has earned respect. It sheltered pioneers crossing continents and explorers pushing into uncharted wilderness. But, survival has changed. Today it's about mobility, adaptability, and staying ahead instead of staying heavy. Modern preppers don't have the luxury of dragging around kilos of sodden fabric just because it has a nostalgic feel. Tyvek flips the script the second you hold it. The first shock is the weight, or honestly, the lack of it. A sheet big enough to build a proper shelter feels like holding a piece of future tech paper. But here's the twist. It's not fragile. It's not weak. And it's not the construction site throwaway some people assume. Tyvek's origin story is actually part of its strength. It was engineered for buildings, designed to stop external moisture while letting internal vapor escape. And here's where survivalists perk up. That exact combo, waterproof on the outside, breathable on the inside, is the holy grail of shelter materials. Where plastic tarps suffocate you with condensation and canvas drags you into the mud with weight and slow drying, Tyvek quietly hits the perfect middle ground. Sleep under it once, and you immediately understand why filmmakers, researchers, and long-distance hikers fell in love with it before preppers caught on. The breathability advantage that has survivalists talking. Anyone who has spent a night under plastic knows the misery of waking up damp with condensation, even when there wasn't a drop of rain. It's one of the oldest tarp problems in the book. Canvas solves that partially with breathability, but it brings its own problems, especially in changing climates or multi-day treks. Once canvas gets wet, it becomes a dead weight. Worse, it stays wet, sours, and demands constant treatment to keep from rotting. Tyvek doesn't play those games. It blocks wind and rain while letting moisture escape. Your breath doesn't condense around you like a cold fog. Your sleeping bag stays dry. Your pack weight stays low. And that's the kind of real-world advantage that adds up day after day. Whether you're sprinting a ridge before a storm or setting up a fast overnight camp on uneven terrain, Tyvek gives you shelter without taxing your energy reserves. How to prep Tyvek for real survival use. Straight from the roll, Tyvek has a stiff, crinkly feel. Some compare it to handling a noisy bag of chips. But that's temporary. A quick crumple session or a cold wash cycle softens it dramatically, transforming it into something far closer to cloth. Reinforcing corners with Tyvek tape or folded layers gives you durable tie-out points. This isn't fancy modification. It's the same kind of hands-on personalization explorers used to do with every piece of gear. Only now you're doing it with a material that doesn't demand waxing, oiling, or babying. Once prepped, Tyvek becomes an agile, high-performance shelter sheet capable of handling wind, rain and rough terrain setups. It doesn't absorb water. It doesn't stretch and sag. And when you're packing it up after a long night, it weighs almost nothing. Canvas might be classic, but it's slowing you down. Canvas lovers talk about tradition, character and stories, and that's fine if you want nostalgia. But if you want efficiency, Tyvek wins every measurable category. Canvas absorbs water, becoming drastically heavier. It takes ages to dry. Even if you treat it, moisture creeps in during long trips. And if you don't treat it, rot, mould, fibre breakdown. That's why old-school explorers waxed canvas before every serious mission. Fast forward to today, where preppers juggle variable climates, unexpected weather patterns, and the need for rapid mobility. In this world, canvas becomes a survival liability. It isn't just heavy, it drains time, energy, and pack space. Tyvek stays consistent, even in the ugliest conditions. That reliability lets you move with confidence, instead of dragging a stubborn relic behind you. Strength without the burden. One of the biggest Tyvek myths is that it must be fragile, because it's light. But that's not how its fibre structure works. Tyvek resists tearing, and if it does get punctured, the tear usually stops itself without fraying further. It's the opposite of canvas, where a small rip can turn into a major structural failure if you're not constantly monitoring it. And here's the best part. Repairing Tyvek takes seconds. Tyvek tape bonds to it like it was grown from the same material, because it practically is. For off-grid travellers, endurance hikers, and really anyone out in the field for days at a time, that ability to patch and keep moving is honestly priceless. No stitching in the dark, no grommet replacements, no mess. Just slap, seal, and keep going. Speed, mobility and energy savings over multiple days, these are game changers. Imagine working a long cross-country route. Stopping only long enough to build shelter before sunrise pushes you forward again. With Tyvek, you can set up an A-frame or wedge shelter in just a couple of minutes with a ridgeline and 4 stakes. You sleep dry, you pack fast, you move on. Over a multi-day stretch, that time savings becomes hours. And, the energy savings from carrying less weight. That could be the difference between reaching your destination and burning out halfway. Do the same trip with canvas and, everything slows down. Setup takes longer. Tear down takes longer. Your pack weight eats at your stamina day after day. Multiply those small inefficiencies and canvas becomes a major drain on your overall survival performance. The evolution survival was waiting for. Canvas had its era and it shaped outdoor history in a big way. But, survival is evolving. Preppers today demand gear that's lighter, faster, more adaptable and more resilient across climates. Tyvek fits that new world perfectly. It's part of the natural progression, from oiled sailcloth to canvas to synthetics, and now to advanced breathable waterproof material that saves you weight and saves you effort. For anyone serious about fieldcraft, Tyvek is more than a clever hack. It's the next logical step in shelter tech. Once you feel the difference in real-world use, you won't go back. And if you found this guide valuable, make sure you subscribe and share this with someone who still swears canvas is king. This channel grows because of you, And the more we grow, the more survival knowledge we can bring to the people who actually need it. Stay sharp out there.